Let's talk about Ash, baby, equipped with Fatal TP, and then you get a dagger and put on Covert Lethality. What's up, guys? My name's Kamahl. Welcome to another Warframe video from the PlayStation 4. So today we're going to be talking about Ash, who is a misrepresented Warframe. There's a lot of people that will think that Ash is well, they'll think he's a sneaky sneak. He's kind of, but not. He's more of an assassin, an assassin. Uh, so what I'm going to show you real quick is this 20 corrupted heavy gunners that are level 120, and how strong he is. So here's the thing. Fatal Teleport is an extremely strong ability that allows you to teleport to an enemy and open them up to finishers. Well, if you have Fatal Teleport on, what it'll do is it'll actually perform a finisher when you teleport to an enemy. Covert Lethality is a mod that goes on a Dagger. It does 200% additional, 200% additional, no, it doesn't. It makes, now I gotta remember what it does exactly. I know it makes sneaky sneak finisher damage lethal. 100% extra damage on melee attacks. That's what it is. Or not 100%, but an extra 100 damage. Jesus Christ, why can't I fucking talk? 100 extra damage on melee attacks or lethal damage on finishers. So, if you teleport to an enemy and perform a finisher, and your finishers have lethal damage, well, that should mean that you can one-shot an enemy, even without a build. Which is exactly what Ash is capable of. As you see, I have one mod on my Warframe, one mod on my weapon. My weapon does 200 damage, and I one-shot everything. Now, that's how Ash is absolutely insane. Now, you'll have people be like, oh, well, that's not very applicable in a normal mission. And I say to you, you're wrong. So, if we go to the full build that I use, which is going to be Steel Charge for the melee weapon damage increase, but not really, it's so I have the amount of spaces that I need. Cunning Drift, Streamline, Vitality, Fatal Teleport, as you already know, Prime Flow for the manas, which actually you don't really need that too much, but kind of because it makes things a lot easier. More duration, a little bit of power strength, more duration, and Knockdown Recovery. Knockdown Recovery is actually fairly important, somewhat on him. This, it doesn't really matter. If you want to hit things with Circle, you can do that. But honestly, the only ones that I would really say are needed would be Body Count, Covert Lethality, Prime Fury. Now, this, granted, is a Zaw, and for anyone that may be curious what Zaw it is the Vargate Tudorhang, Bala, and Korb. Let's see what we're able to do with this. Now, let's turn off invincibility. Go invisible. Now, as you see, still very, very good. And then make sure you don't start a teleport when you don't have much time left on your invincibility or invisibility, because then that could be potentially very painful. And yeah, I mean, there's multiple ways to play Ash, but this is this is by far the most damage that you'll get out of any weapon or Warframe in the game. Not DPS, don't get me misconstrued, just damage itself. Simply for the fact that these are level 120 corrupted heavy gunners that I'm able to one-shot every time. Now, just to put that into perspective, this is my Amprex. My Amprex is probably the best gun that I have. And you see what it does. It takes a little bit. It takes a little bit. Right? But I mean, Fatal Teleport does not. Now, what do his other abilities do? Good question. I don't know. No, I'm joking. So the first one is Shuriken. What this does is it throws out a spinning blade that does slash damage and applies a bleed effect to a lot of people. The reason that it does apply a bleed effect is because his bleed effects inflicted on enemies do 25% more damage, and they do last twice as long. So Seeking Shuriken is pretty nice for, you know, a little bit of damage drain from them. Smokescreen makes you go invisible, and when you do cast it, it will knock back enemies that are near you and obscure their vision. Teleport, as I've already showed you, it teleports to the enemy. And then Bladestorm. So Bladestorm is extremely cool. And I'm going to show you real quick how to use it, because this was one of the things that pushed me off from Ashes. I didn't understand how his ultimate worked. So with his ultimate, the way that you're going to want to use this is... Let's spawn the enemies and I'll show you. So you go invisible, turn on his ultimate. Now, as you'll see, enemies get red and they get little marks above their head. As they obtain marks over their head, that's how many times your friend, your shadow beast, will attack them. You turn it off, and then he goes out and starts attacking them. It's extremely, extremely good damage, just not in here because of the level of the enemies. And then as you can see, I hit Fatal Teleport on one of the enemies, and I started teleporting around with my home dude, right? You start teleporting around with your dude, and it makes you completely invulnerable to any damage. So we'll turn it back on, we'll start teleporting, and as you see, my life and my shield becomes gray because I'm not able to take damage. Now, granted, you can't cast anything, you can't do anything, you're kind of forced to just be there. But that doesn't mean it's bad. You know, it's pretty fucking strong. It just takes a little bit of time. You know, it's the bleed that makes it as good as it is. So, I would say Ash is extremely good. I mean, if you really, really look at it, he is one of the highest damaging frames in the game. Let's look at this again. I won't do Fatal Teleport. I'm just going to send my dude out there and see how many times it takes these guys to get killed. I mean, they're all getting the bleed damage done, which is great. They're all getting damage taken, or they're all taking damage, which is great. And you want to make sure that you're invisible. It takes half the mana, or half the energy. Ah! Ah! Son of a cunt! It takes half of the mana to mark each target, because this isn't a cast and it takes mana or a steady drain of mana. Each time a mark is placed above an enemy's head, it drains a little bit of mana from you. That mana drain is reduced to half if you are invisible. So if you stay invisible, your mana will appreciate it, okay? Your mana is going to love you if you stay invisible while you're casting this stuff. So, you know, it's kind of, I don't know, he's one of those frames that you really can use so many different ways. I mean, there's other mods like Seeking Shuriken that you can put on that allows him to take away 70% of the enemy's armor when he casts his Shuriken, which I think could be pretty good, but I haven't really been able to get it to work as good as I would like. So let's go out here and let's get all these guys up, and I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to want to go invisible again. And then we can start casting Shuriken. And then we can send out our Bladestorm. Now, you can continue to cast your Shuriken while he's out, but it really doesn't seem to impact the damage that much. Not as much as Fatal Teleport. I still feel like Fatal Teleport is probably going to be the best way that you're going to want to use him. I mean, it's taking multiple teleport, or not multiple teleports, but multiple ultimates to kill these people. Whereas if I just Fatal Teleported one to the other, to the other, to the other, they would go down a lot faster. But anyways, guys, that's the video. If you like this content, if you want to see more, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel. Let me know down in the comments section below how you feel about this build. If you were playing it, how you would do it a little bit differently, maybe better. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. And, you know, hopefully stick around for more Warframe videos. The next video I'll be doing is going to be how to obtain Ash, which, you know, I probably should have done that video first, so maybe I'll postpone the release of this video for later, and I will put out a video on how to obtain Ash first. But that's my Ash build. That's how I play him. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. If you guys want to show monetary support, help me build that new computer, help me get that new microphone, there are links down in the description below. Other than that, I hope y'all have an awesome day. I'm out.